The S&P 500 just had one of its most dramatic falls this year, just yesterday here, correcting all the way back down to our all-time high as a means of support, hopefully getting its footing back and we can head up even higher. But beyond the S&P, we will also be looking at Solana, XRP, Ethereum, as well as Bitcoin in today's episode. And for the most part, we would be looking at the small correction, the prices getting dragged out and dipping lower and lower and lower, just pissing everybody off. Unfortunately, we had made a trade on Solana that did get stopped out literally just yesterday here, which is super annoying if you ask me. We were doing really well. We saw a major swing to the upside here, but just 3 days ago, we started to see a reversal doji candle, and the prices have been correcting ever since, which is just a pain in the butt. Everybody's been patiently waiting for this make or break. Tons of other, cryptocurrency YouTubers have, if you've watched, we're waiting on these moments to happen, and it didn't, and it's unfortunate here. But as you can see, XRP as well is sliding lower here, and I want to talk about why we've pretty much bottomed out on a lot of these cryptos, specifically XRP as my main focal point. But a lot of these cryptos have pretty much hit bottom and are due for some sort of movement to the upside, or at least at a bare minimum, consolidate longer, to basically space us out and then, or time us out, and then we should see markets correct to the upside here. But lots of information to go over. I do have a news article in regards to the S&P and why some people believe that the stock market is correcting here at such a vast pace, and then I'll give you my perspective on why that is. But with all that being said, smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's jump right into today's episode. So I don't want to talk about the S&P too much here, but we did see quite a substantial drop here. I mean, this has been one of the biggest drops you can see from market closure. We fell about 1.7, 1 3/4, 1.75% here, which is pretty large. You can see we haven't really had that since, December. I know it wasn't that long ago here, but it was a pretty substantial correction. And you can see why that took place here and what the purpose of it was. Last time we were over here, we were trading at, you can see 81 on the RSI, extremely overbought. The correction was healthy, pulled us back down to 66, and then we just continue to head it up higher. But you can see with this consolidation, it's lowered ourselves on the relative strength indicator, and that's kind of what we're looking for right now. This yellow band is a major resistance for the markets here. This yellow price ceiling pretty much represents the all-time highs in the market. The last time we were here was 2 years ago, December 2021. So maybe even 3 years ago. You can see if we take a price range here, how many days it's taken us to consolidate from this point to this point here. It's in 750 days. So pretty much a little over 2 years. Now, maybe 2 years on average to finally break through those all-time highs. And the thing is, we broke through it just recently, while being overbought on the markets here. So any higher we go, it's just sending us further and further and further into overbought territory, and the small correction back down to support. It's actually pretty healthy, if you ask me. I think it's very necessary. Last time we were this high, we were trading at 69, almost 70 on the RSI. Now we're trading at 57 on the RSI at the same price point here. So we're definitely doing good things. Maybe we'll head a little bit lower here, but ideally, I'd hope we could stay above it and eventually head up even higher. Now, some people are correlating with this Federal Reserve meeting Jerome Powell put out, basically saying that he's in no way, shape, or form going to cut rates for a long time until he sees inflation fall back down to 2%. And I think we're still getting there, but we're not there just yet. But then eventually when we do, he'll start to cut rates. So probably not till the latter part of this year will we start to see that. So it'll be interesting to see how that all times out. Now, as you can see in yesterday's video, we made a discussion talking about the fact that this is the last possible chance for XRP and these cryptos and Solana to be bullish, and it all falls on this. And it was closing above our price ceiling, which obviously Solana did not want to do by correcting lower. You can see, looking at the current coin market cap, a lot of these cryptos are consolidating downwards. We look good. Like, we are not undervalued, but we look like we're dragging out on the bottom. Like, we've already fallen back down to a support. We're hanging out and just getting dragged along the floor, and we're waiting for liftoff. We're waiting for that volume to come back in. We've gradually lowered ourselves from like 70 or 80 on the Fear and Greed Index down in the 50s, which is just a neutral level here. Like, the sentiment and the volume and the volatility is gone for the most part. We are just consolidating here, even though some of these cryptos are showing double-digit highs for the past week. Solana, we have like Avalanche. Some of these cryptos look good, but overall, the past 24 hours, nothing's really happening. 1% here, 2% there, 3% here, but for the most part, nothing's really moving. And, we can tweak this chart so many times on Solana's daily, and it still doesn't align ourselves with a great opportunity to buy in or short or so on and so forth. But for those that are mainly focused on XRP for my videos, we're going to talk about that first, then we'll talk about Solana. I apologize for taking things on a little bit longer, but I'm kind of showing you the important things first, and then we'll talk about the unimportant. I don't want to say unimportant, but the things that aren't really moving that have been very similar to yesterday, which unfortunately is XRP. Now, the main focus on XRP is the fact that we have pretty much discovered a beautiful descending triangle forming on the XRP RSI relative strength relative strength indicator here. You can see we're forming relative strength index, whatever you want. This lower high movement with a price floor clearly mapped out. You can see every single time we try to head back up, it's lower than the last one, consistently lower than the last one here. Over and over and over and over again. And that's pretty much the main focus right now, is that we keep getting rejected off this resistance and come crashing to the downside here. We just did it the other day, and we thought we'd break through it, which would have caused XRP to head up and Solana to head up as well, probably the rest of the market. Unfortunately, this rejection has sent us back down to support for, again, another opportunity to retest the moving average or the price ceiling and hopefully break through, because when we do, we should see a pretty solid and reputable run. For the time being, we're just going to keep consolidating inside of here, but this does have an end date, and that's the main focus. It's literally less than 2 weeks into, February before we see any sort of result here. And the good thing is, I think it's going to come pretty nicely. January has been a fairly bearish month for crypto. We've been pretty much doing nothing but falling to the downside here. You can see since the start, like XRP started at 62 cents and ended it at 49 cents. The good thing is January is typically a bearish month, so we should be able to see a nice recovery this month, and that's kind of my goal. Now, obviously, I've already prepared for this. I've been prepared for this for quite some time now here, and we're getting kind of impatient, but we've done so on BidFi, which is the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. You can buy long, sell short, leverage trade, create stop losses, take profits, anything and everything you'd like to take advantage of is offered on BidFi. Also, as I mentioned yesterday here, BidFi is offering a new bonus campaign for a limited time where you guys can complete your first deposit and your first trade and earn $100 in free cryptocurrency in bonus. So make sure to check that out with the link down in the description below and claim it while it lasts, because it will be going away fairly soon. Also, there's always the welcome rewards bonus, and we do have a demo trading account on BidFi, which I highly recommend you guys check out. Not only can you earn $100 in free crypto by literally signing up down in the description below, you can then earn over $2,000 in free cryptocurrency by clicking the welcome rewards bonus. And then you can see here, this is the best way to test your skills completely free on BidFi without actually risking anything, because they give you 50K in Monopoly money to get familiar with the platform. And then when you're ready, you can switch over to the live account and actually trade around with real cryptocurrency, excuse me here. But moving forward from XRP, and as you guys can see, that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. XRP has shown that we're dragging out on the bottom. It is clearly showing that we have hit the low, and however many times we want to tweak this, it really doesn't matter here. We've pretty much been consistently dragging out on this bottom price floor here, just waiting and waiting and waiting for a breakout to happen. We can keep tweaking the charts. It doesn't matter. But all I know is we've pretty much bottomed out. We've been sandwiched and slowly pulling ourselves down to bottom support on the RSI. There's no more room to head lower. And at some point, we are going to pop, and a reversal outside of this clear price ceiling to the upside here would cause markets to reverse right back up to moving average. It always happens. The markets always come back to retest moving average. So I would expect a more aggressive move from support at 48 cents up to the moving average right here, 58 cents here, 10-cent movement within XRP. That's the wait. That's the patiently waiting for that to happen right now, and hopefully it happens sooner than later, but it is quite annoying, obviously, if you ask me here, and we're just going to have to be sitting ducks until then. Now, as for Solana, this pain-in-the-butt cryptocurrency, you can see we're holding on quite well right now, too. We're pretty much just been stagnant. It hasn't been fun to trade around on Solana because it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks now of literally doing absolutely nothing. Granted, we were overbought for an extended period of time on the weekly charts, and now we're back down to a more still overbought, but a more neutral level, 69. It could obviously get a lot lower. Hopefully it doesn't. Just by literally floating sideways, we've lowered ourselves from 88 to 69, so that's definitely a good sign here. But until then, we're still waiting to truck on higher. Hopefully, we don't continue to scale lower. I'd be very shocked if we do that. But the goal is to start to get some sort of reversal back in and some sort of volume. But for the time being, because we got stopped out in yesterday's trade, for the one opportunity we thought was going to be a kind of a bull flag breakout here. Lots of you guys were calling for a bull trap, and it seems like that's exactly what happened here. A bull trap reversal. Hopefully, though, that we can continue to scale higher. But if not, we're going to come right back down and retest moving average here. But it's a tough one across the board for a lot of these cryptos. There's just no volume. There's a lack of volume across the board for everything here. Trading sideways for the most part on Ethereum. Ethereum's pretty much just with its tail between its legs, hugging its moving average. And that's very similar to Bitcoin too. Bitcoin's gotten back inside here. I think now I'm going to start using Bitcoin as a better indicator to figure out what exactly we're doing here. Yes, there's a price ceiling at 46K as well, but you can see with us floating at 42, we've been inside the sideways channel for quite some time, and this could easily take us into March, which would be absurd, but it's very possible. The cryptos just right now are pretty much just sitting ducks waiting to either correct back down to support or wait for some sort of volume to inject itself into the markets, and we'll probably see, the S&P consolidate too. There's a good chance we're going to see that as well. But for the time being, there's no real profitable trades to be jumping in onto this market. The main focus is XRP. Actually, a lot of these. XRP, we're looking for a reversal off this, a break through its price ceiling. That would trigger that movement. And Bitcoin to close above its price ceiling as well. But until then, we're just sitting patiently. There's nothing really else to say. Feel free to let me know in the comments below, but make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you at tomorrow's episode. Peace.